What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? It's your boy AT2. It's gonna be a good show. We're gonna get into a few things, but I want to say that I like the conversation that Conscious TV and Saint James had. I think it was even more interesting when Larry Reid got up there because finally he was challenged the way he should have been challenged this whole time. Let's go ahead and get into it, y'all. What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? It's your boy AT2 here, bringing you another episode of Talk the Real Deal with AT2. How everybody doing? How everybody living? How everybody feeling today? What's up, Nichelle? How you doing? Queen B More. Hello, hello, hello. What's up, Sun? I see Sun up in the building. What's up, Kita? It's like every time I get online, like the lighting, I fix it, right? And then all of a sudden, when I get on here on StreamYard, because why is the sign all washed out? Okay, that's no, I don't like that light though. Hold on, let me go here. Okay, I like that a little better. Okay, I'm dark skinned, dark brown. Okay, there we go. But what's up, everybody? Avenger Bob, Nichelle, Shannon, Jazz. Hello, hello, hello. What's up, Jackie? Jackie. Shout out to Jackie. Hello, everybody. Kita, Demetria, nice to see y'all. Okay, I see everybody coming up in the building. And then, I might not be in the church sector, but you can always give a church offering. You see the Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, you see all that down there. Oh, shut up. They always online begging for money. Shit, why can't I? Damn it. Anyway, you guys, again, like I said in the beginning of the video, I thought it will hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. But I thought it was dope that Conscious TV and Saint James had a debate and they had a discussion regarding this whole Larry Reid, TD Jakes, Bishop Bernard Jordan situation, because I feel like it reminded me of the old school YouTube. Remember, like old school? I was just talking about this, like back in the day, we used to hit a panel, we used to click a link. Now people are all scary and stuff like that and don't want to click no link. And I'm all like, okay, are y'all just gonna do endless videos back and forth? Like somebody has to give in and click a link after a while, right? And that's how I feel. Like, damn, would somebody click a link? Like, I'm tired of this whole, oh, well, I don't want to give this person clout or attention, or they need to come to my platform. I don't want to go to theirs and all this. And I'm all like, listen, the people want to be entertained and you deserve to give them entertainment. Stop with the whole big headedness, like, oh, they need to come to me or I ain't gonna go to them and all that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Somebody click a goddamn link, get on panel, go toe for toe, and hopefully, you have a resolve. And this wasn't even a situation where they were trying to get into it or have like some kind of beef. Like they're literally having a discussion in Conscious TV. He was able somehow to wiggle his way to get Larry Reid to agree to click on the panel. And I thought that was dope because literally Conscious is the only person that could have facilitated that. Because would Larry Reid have ever had a conversation with St. James? No, because Larry Reid thing is, oh, these bloggers are less than smart. These bloggers are dumb. They just dumb. These bloggers, they just dumb. It's like, listen, sir, not everybody is dumb who has a difference of opinion. Like, I know there's people who be dragging Larry Reid for, shit that he does and stuff like that. I get it. However, there are some real criticisms and some real concerns. Like, why does everybody get dismissed like they're nobody? Like, what gives you the right to say that somebody is lying or somebody's not telling the truth or this or that when you don't even let people challenge you? Like, people should be able to challenge your opinion. Just like here, I let you guys challenge my opinion all the time. Does it get on my nerves a lot? Yes, it does. But I let you challenge me. You have to be challenged. And it was good to like finally see that Larry Reid was being challenged by someone he doesn't feel comfortable with. I'm not going to say Conscious TV does not challenge him, but I also don't think Conscious TV knows everything. And it's hard not to be biased when somebody is your friend, you know? And because of that, they're always going to have like some kind of loyalty, and it gets wonky after a while, right? So with that being said, I felt like Saint James was the right person. I know that it would never be Larry Reid and Daryl Moore on panel. Now, I would definitely pay for that. I would pay if that was like some kind of Patreon exclusive. I would give me a Patreon membership. But when it comes to what's up, Couture? When it comes to somebody like that, no. Marcellus, Mad Church Disease, would he be able to get on panel? No. And hell, I think someone that Larry Reid should have a conversation with and should definitely apologize because he was lying on this woman's name. And shout out to Juice. She's doing a marathon. So make sure you guys check her out after this live. But you need to apologize to the Juice Radio and Talk Show when you was like, oh, yeah, she used to be some pastor and this and that when you was over there talking shit. You need to apologize to her. Because really, I never had an issue with Larry Reid. It was just commentary or whatever. But the way I seen him treat Juice and somebody who knows the word, an actual pastor, someone who has love in their heart, and you came after her out of all people, yeah, I lost all respect for him. So since then, I've been like, F Larry Reid, and I'm just going to be honest. What's up, Diamond? How you doing? I thought Conscious. Yeah, I guess they had a conversation and they made up, so they're good now. This is what I'll say about that. Sometimes when you've built a relationship and like a loyalty and a trust to someone, even if they break it, you are going to go back no matter what. It happens, but I think also too, Larry needs somebody like Conscious, because nobody's going to be able to do it like Conscious can do. Like nobody is going to be able to go to bat for him like that. Conscious will know that Larry Reid is in the wrong, and he'll be windmilling. Larry Reid needs somebody like that. The other people that Larry Reid is with, they can't do it like Conscious. Conscious can listen. Conscious is very good with his words. That's something that you can't take away from him. I don't care if y'all don't like him or not. You cannot take away that Conscious is very good with his words. All the pastors are scammers, and and like I said the other day, I will say, I believe that the reason why Larry Reid and Bishop Bernard Jordan are going through this is like a spiritual warfare. And I think because the way they play with God's words and shit like that, because let's not forget, I'm not team Bishop Bernard Jordan. Don't forget, he was doing those robocalls, taking all them old people money. Just like Manasseh. I'm not team Manasseh. He was team robocalls too. And all that prophetic, ministry, like, oh, if you give me $1,000, I'll be able to pray for you. I'm gonna say this, and I know that y'all gonna be like, well, AT2, you shouldn't be talking on this. You should never have to pay for a prayer. You should never have to pay for a prayer. And if I gotta pay $1,000 for a prayer, it better be the best prayer ever. It better heal all my sickness. It better heal my cataract. It better heal my cancer. It better heal diabetes. It better heal high cholesterol. It better heal sodium. It better heal my swollen feet. That prayer better heal everything for $1,000. Can I get an amen? I was just saying, it better heal everything in my body for $1,000. God does not charge for prayer. I haven't seen anything, and that's the thing too. I haven't seen anything in the Bible, and maybe I'm not the best person because have I read the whole Bible? No, but I don't know where that says in the Bible you charge people for prayer. to be against the. Hold on, let's Google real quick. Hold on, y'all. Is paying for prayer a sin? Oh, it even knows it is praying for paying for prayer a sin. In most faiths, it is generally considered wrong to pay someone for prayer. Prayers are viewed as a direct communication with the divine, and the act of paying for them is often seen as perversion of this spiritual practice. Ding, 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 ding. Y'all, all y'all need to do is Google. That's all y'all need to do is Google. Google told me right there that you don't need to pay for prayer. It's perversion. That's a communication between you and God. So you having somebody else pray for you and you paying 1,000, like what? You know, $1,000 for a prayer. And mind you, I'm being modest with $1,000 because there's like a tier. Y'all, that should prove that it's a scam because there's like a tier. 1,000 gets you a little prayer. 2,000 gets you more of a prayer. 5,000 gets you, you know, a lot of prayer. Like what? There's levels to the prayer. That doesn't make any sense to me. So as far as them as human beings, they're shitty. But we're just talking about the situation, right? So all in all, talking about the situation, again, going with the situation, there's a few things. So and again, shout out to Saint James. I think Saint James is awesome, and I think he was the right person because, like I said, he was respectful and everything like that, and he wasn't all like "you mother blah 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 blah." And you can tell that Larry Reid kind of wanted to have him kind of go off so that he could say, "See, this is why I don't talk to them bloggers." And Saint James kept his cool and everything like that. Saint James knew how to handle himself, so definitely shout out to him. But going back to what I was saying, St. James had asked him, like, you know, and I'm paraphrasing, if he thought it was wrong for him to go live and tell the world, like, he no longer is with or down with Bishop Bernard Jordan and saying it publicly, was he, you know, wrong for that? And then Larry Reid tried to come back and was all like, well, in January, I asked him for a conversation and he ignored me. Okay, he ignored you. Okay, that's fine. But don't forget, back in November, it was William McRae who dropped the bomb that there was some kind of tension or something that happened, and you know, somehow Bishop Bernard Jordan tried to undercut you or something like that. But then when they asked you about it, you pretended like it was no big deal. And that's one thing, I don't know if that was brought up, but yeah, William McRae was actually the first person who brought that up. No, pray is free. It's shady to even say you'll charge someone. Oh, okay. Thank you, Lil. Okay, Colette. Okay, but yeah, I was like, William McRae already kind of said something back in November that you guys had some kind of tension. So now you want to say that it was because you guys didn't have conversation in January. Why did you tell William in the first place that there was any kind of distinction or, you know, anything like that? That was weird. What's up, Pure T? How you doing? But anyway, Larry Reid tried to come back with the whole he should have had a conversation with me and da 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 da. And I just felt like it was kind of tit for tat, like, oh, because you didn't have a conversation with me, now I'm gonna put your ass on blast. That's essentially what it was, right? And that's fine. Like, if that's what it is, like you felt like, okay, I'm gonna get my get back because you didn't have a phone call or a sit down with me, then it is what it is. But it's all like, well, damn, did you at least try again? Like, because my thing is like, when you have a falling out with a YouTuber, okay, I can see why you would bring it on YouTube, but Bishop Bernard Jordan isn't a YouTuber. He, you know, he's a prophet, quote unquote. So, and if this is your spiritual father, shouldn't you address them personally and not online? If I had an issue with my dad, because I don't have a spiritual father, but if I had an issue with my dad, thank you, here, I appreciate that. Good afternoon. If I had an issue with my dad, I would handle it offline. I wouldn't come all like, yeah, my dad, I ain't talking to my dad. Da, 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 da. Like, you don't find that weird? Is this how they do it in the church? When you get mad at your spiritual father, you go online and have a hissy fit and try to put them on blast? Mm, you're right. You're right, son. You're right. So again, and he says like, and they also talked about the whole Trump thing. If he voted for Trump, and or if he voted for Kamala, would um Larry Reid still have a problem? He's saying that it was not over the vote. But remember, Larry Reid told us it was because of the way he allegedly, because again, Bishop Bernard Jordan never confirmed it, but I will give Larry this. It's kind of obvious like who Bishop Bernard Jordan voted for, because if someone said, "Oh, did you vote for Trump?" you'll say, "Oh, I didn't vote at all," or you'll say, "No, I didn't vote for him." The fact that Bishop Bernard Jordan tried to say, "Well, I never discussed politics. I never discussed this, and I never did." It's all like, never just tell us, damn it. You know, all that going in a big ass circle. Ain't nobody got time for that. I swear. Oh my god. It just annoys me when people talk in circles. And I think and just like when Larry Reid the other day, not this interview, but the other day said that Bishop Bernard Jordan is very manipulative, right? Well, you're also very manipulative with all that word salad and going around speaking in circles and not answering the question directly. You do the same thing. Do you not? Because from what I see, you do the same thing, speak in circles and all that shit. So y'all one in the same. Because, like I said, I'm not team nobody. I think they're all horrible people. However, we're just talking about based on the situation and what it is, right? Let me ask y'all before we continue. Let's do a 30-second count. Shut up. It's my show. We're doing a 30-second countdown. God told me to do a 30-second countdown, y'all. Oh, bless the Lord. Anyway, are you team Larry Reid or are you team Jordan? Or are you team nobody? Let me know in the chat right now. Oh, Team God. I like that one. I like that one. Yeah, I think we're all team no. Like, we don't care about a team. Like, yeah, we ain't got no loyalty. We don't know them to have any loyalty to them. You know. So, where the truth lies. Exactly. I like that. I like that one. Yeah, I agree with a lot of y'all. I absolutely cuss too much. Not true. Who you vote for is private. That's why there is a certain it's no one's business. Now, Kimberly, here's the thing. I agree as far as like, say if a stranger asks you who you vote for, then yeah, I think that is a little weird, right? Like, okay, but if this is supposed to be your spiritual father and this is the person that's supposed to be leading you and they can't just give you a direct answer, I would kind of be like, that's a little weird. But I feel like Larry Reid already knew that Bishop Bernard Jordan was a Trump supporter. I think he already knew that. So why is he acting shocked? I think he just used this because, again, to rile up the base. Oh, he's a Trump supporter. So automatically, when somebody's a Trump supporter, automatically they're a bad person, right? Which, yes, they are bad people. Let's stop doing, it's not, both sides are evil. No, like, let's stop playing it. Like, somebody got to draw a line somewhere. And I don't mind being the bad guy. If you want to call me, the ultra liberal, I don't care. Okay, that's a compliment to me. But yeah, anyway, but as my spiritual father, somebody who I trust and I have a personal connection, and I'm giving you allegedly 10K a month. Oh, I need to know who you voting for. I'm giving you 10K a month. I need to know who I'm investing my money in. I'm sorry. Just like, here's the thing too, because a lot of influencers and stuff, they were losing like support based on who they voted for. And a lot of people are like, well, that kind of stuff shouldn't matter. I agree in a certain way, right? And here's the thing. I believe that you can be a Republican. Like, I believe that. And I think that more people, especially Black people, should find out what works for them and what they like, right? But it's the essential being MAGA. Being MAGA and being a Republican are two different things, right? Right? Can we agree on that? That's two different things. I mean, they kind of coincide, but those are two different things. So, with that being said, like, if you choose not to follow somebody based on who they voted for, that is your right. That is. I think that if you say, if it was like AT2 as a Trump supporter and you guys chose not to support me anymore, I'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. I get it. Because again, if I'm trying to be secretive and then, I'm talking about I love everybody, I'm open for, all this, and everybody's welcome to come in and stuff like that, but I'm supporting someone who it does not have those values, it sounds hypocritical. So I get the correlation, because I would never want to trick you and say, oh yeah, I'm really this, but because what it seems like is that there's a lot of people who did feel the same way that Trump did, but they never shared that with the audience. And so, like, you should tell us who you are and let us know, and don't surprise us and come out here and say, oh, you're this kind of person, and then shock us. You, like, be who you are. So I get it. But yeah, 10K a month, I need to know who you voted for. I'm sorry. Yeah, you as an individual, like somebody in my chat, I don't really care. But if I'm giving you 10K a month, I need to. I don't think that's a wrong question. I gotta agree with Larry Reid. If I'm giving you 10K a month, nigga, I need to know. I'm just saying. That's just me. But anyway, moving on from all that. But either way, I do feel like Larry did use that as an excuse, because he knew, like, if he came out and was like, yeah, he's a Trump supporter, people would be more in Larry's favor. He's very strategic what he do. Don't ever let Larry Reid think that he's obtuse to what he's doing. He's very strategic. What's up, Winnie? He's very strategic. I promise you he is. But essentially, I think also too, if it's supposed to be about religion, it should just be about the religion and the value that you get. It shouldn't be about who we necessarily like. If you trust them as a person, then who cares? Like, my thing is kind of like, why even bring that up? Like, it was almost to put Bishop Bernard Jordan as the bad guy. 82, there's no more real mothers of the church. That, you know what? It does really seem like that. It does. Larry ain't telling it all. And thank you for the donation, by the way, here. I appreciate that. What's up, grown woman? Oh, I missed your first comment, Pure T. Yeah, that's called, yeah, and that's where the manipulation came in from, because I believe that Larry was strategic in the way he said it. Now, necessarily, he didn't say that Bishop Bernard Jordan is a bad person, right? He didn't say that, but essentially, you're saying, like, you couldn't support somebody like that, and how could he support this administration, and da 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 da. So you were putting it out there, like, yeah, essentially, because of the decisions that he made, he's a bad person, and you don't want to be aligned with that. But that's your spiritual father. And then I just kind of think, like, if Bishop Bernard Jordan is his spiritual father, then why Larry Reid be in so much shit? Instead, like, isn't your spiritual father supposed to guide you so you don't end up in some shit? Like, why are you always in some shit? You know? And I'm not gonna go through all his scandals and stuff like that, but y'all know. Like, we ain't gotta act stupid. We, you know, like that's not a good spiritual father, you know? The lives of that man were outstanding. You know what, Matt Church of these, are you busy right now? I want to drop the link for you. I don't know if you're busy or not. But anyway, so one of the big discussions was about, before we even get into Tyrone Blackburn and Dwayne, I was gonna say Dwayne Johnson, Duane Youngblood. They had talked about Bishop Bernard Jordan doing the interview, and I guess Larry had shared with Bishop Bernard Jordan that Saint James is one of the people that he doesn't mess with or he doesn't like or whatnot. Now, here's the thing. I have never heard Saint James actually go in on Larry Reid as far as like, oh, this, you know, he's this, he's that. He's just giving commentary like everybody else does. I haven't heard him go that route of talking about certain things. Like, even when it comes to Larry Reid and his sexual conquest and stuff like that. Because, you know, I even said, I was like, Larry, it seemed like you running a brothel, because why you fucking everybody? You know? Shit. Oh, Lord, I got Marcellus here. Man.
What's up, sir?
Marcellus, how you doing?
I'm fine. I just sat down getting ready to get all my work done. I said, okay, well, you threw it out there. I said, so let me hop up here. Well, shout out to AT2 and all the good work that you do. Appreciate you, sir. So I just came up so that I could answer any questions. Now, I'll be honest with you. Now, this is going to sound bad. I started watching that thing yesterday after they got done with about a couple of questions at the beginning. I said, you know what? This is going to be a piece of garbage. So I said, let me go ahead and have dinner. So I went and had dinner, and then I came back so that I could have the ability to fast forward, because fast forward becomes really crucial when you're dealing with Larry.
Right.
So I said,
salad.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Got to fast forward. So I did watch a little bit of it when I came home last night. I'm going to do a part 2 to what I did yesterday. But I'm going to tell you, bro, I've never seen in my whole life something that I saw yesterday. It's astounding to me, the lies that this man tells.
And, you know, it seemed like he forgot what he was saying on camera that's recorded. Like, it was like almost like we were supposed to forget. Like, it never happened.
Let me tell you the part that keeps pissing me off. Who does Larry think he is? Like, first of all, why does it become the job of the vlogger to go back and watch every single video that you've ever made so that we can correct the record of the bullshit that you... Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I forgot where I was.
You fine.
Okay.
It is some bullshit. Don't worry.
Yeah. That we have to go back and redo it and rewatch all the videos you've made so we can correct the record. You know, it's that same Tyrone Blackburn bull. You know, Tyrone Blackburn is putting out all these lies in his court filings, and TD Jakes' attorneys have to go back and find the truth and then put the truth on top of it, and then on top of that, double down on the other work that they're supposed to be doing. Who does Larry think he is that it's our job to go and hunt down the truth of what he says and corrects him? Like, who does he think he is?
Right. And, you know, it's that you guys are just dumb bloggers. Y'all less than smart. You dumb bloggers. Just because people call out the BS that they see does not mean they dumb bloggers or they're less than smart. Like, how do you feel about that? Like, how he tries to play with people's intelligence?
Well, here's the thing. If we're all dumb, all of us are dumb without lawsuits. He's supposed to be the smartest person in the room, but he's got nothing but lawsuits. So then how does he understand that? Then he told a whole bunch of lies the other day to me. Well, I've never lost a lawsuit. You're lying. You're absolutely lying. Okay, here's the first one. And see, this is one of the reasons why, ladies and gentlemen, y'all, you trust me. I got something for his behind. But anyway, let me say this. Number one, Larry, you lost the E. Dewey Smith case. You lost that case. You were appealing that case to the Georgia Supreme Court. You lost the case. Let's be frank. The case that you had with Daryl Moore, sir, you asked Daryl Moore to enter into arbitration with you, and Daryl Moore agreed. We, as a group of vloggers, got with Daryl and said, hey, Daryl, his father was dying. And we said, Daryl, I'm talking to Daryl every day. He's all emotional. He's crying. He's going through all of this stuff. I say, look, dude, this isn't worth it for you to be going through all of this stuff with this man. Just cut this stuff out. Just cut it out. Walk away. Because it's no point in it. So Daryl was like, okay, he didn't want to stop. We actually asked Daryl to stop. That was our request to Daryl. Now, was it a bad idea now in retrospect? Probably so. We should have just let Daryl put his foot in your behind, but he had been putting his foot in your behind for 3 years. So we were like, oh no, bro, let's just cut it out. Larry, you've lost that. You would have lost because and the judge eventually saw what Larry was doing, and he gave Daryl 2 attorneys for free. They assigned 2 attorneys to Daryl for free. Most people don't even realize that. I'm just saying. But
so he wasn't paying for the attorneys. He got those for free.
Oh, now keep in mind, Larry's supposed to be the most smartest vlogger out here, right? The judge ended up giving Daryl 2 attorneys at no cost to Daryl at the very end of the situation, right? So that's what most people do not know, because the judge saw what Larry was doing, because Larry kept trying to drag Daryl back into court, over some old foolishness. And that's when he had the episode in court and all of that stuff that happened. And I'm gonna tell you another thing. The judge actually saw Conscious TV bragging about Daryl falling over on the table. The judge saw it. The judge actually saw it. And when they saw what they were doing on the internet, the judge said, oh no, we're not going to do things this way. And they gave him 2 attorneys at no cost. But Larry, you the smartest one. You say you spent hundreds of thousands of dollars. Daryl probably spent $19.99 and a few copies at Kinko's. But you the smartest one out of the whole group. Daryl spent maybe $19.99 and you spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, but you the smart one. Okay, if that's what you want to convince yourself of.
I never knew that. Why has nobody ever said that?
Daryl, of course, had an episode. He passed out, in the courtroom because he was malnourished. He's been, Daryl has been going through a lot. People just don't realize that, and I won't go into all of Daryl's personal business, but, Daryl has some things that he's dealing with on a personal note. And that's why I will always say, and I will always, people be hollering about there are no friends on the internet. I'm going to rock for Daryl. Always, because I know the kind of person he is. But Larry is a liar. It is not my job to clear up every lie that Larry tells. It's not your job, AT2, to go behind all of the work that he's done and all the lies he told. You know what I'm saying? In order for us to clear up his lies. So let's be clear. The man, you need to cut it out, bro. Nobody's believing your bull. And then let me tell you something else, AT2. This real talk. This is why you want to stay an independent vlogger. And you don't want to be beholden to anybody on the internet, because what I saw yesterday was vloggers trying to contort themselves into a whole bunch of foolishness because they didn't want to offend their benefactors. The other young man over there, he's having to contort himself because he can't offend Larry, and the Saint James is talking because, of course, Saint James has a new relationship over there with Bernard Jordan. So everybody's trying to keep so that they don't offend the person that, that they're, kicking it with. And my thing, this is why I stay independent, because I can tell you all them niggas lying. That's why I stay independent.
And I was just saying, like, the whole prophet thing, I don't trust it. I just don't. And I was talking about like the I guess you call it like prophetic, when they do the whole give me 1,000 and I'll pray for you. And I Googled it, and you're not supposed to pay for prayer. Like,
you can't pay for prophecy. You can't pay for prayer. You can't pay for none of that stuff. Actually, the Bible speaks against it, but that's a whole nother matter.
Okay. That's why I was like, I don't see that in the Bible. So, but I didn't know because, I was like, I ain't read the Bible in I don't know how long, but I thought that was against it,
Yeah. It's one of these things where he was coming out trying to get this presentation for the attorney so that he can seem like he has fallen back and he hasn't been saying the stuff for the last several years that he's been saying. Let's keep it a buck, ladies and gentlemen. That was a hit piece to try and make Larry Reid look like he's somebody who has changed his ways, that he's no longer been going out and saying all of these types of things about TD Jakes, because keep in mind, the whole reason why they did that first 3-4 hour live when Larry was spazzing out is because the Tyrone Blackburn is about to be hit with sanctions. And if you pay attention to the case, ladies and gentlemen, the TD Jakes' attorneys gave you a clue as to where they are headed next with this case. They clearly said that they want to take Tyrone Blackburn from underneath privilege. Okay, they want to take away that attorney-client privilege from him and Duane Youngblood. Why? Because according to Tyrone Blackburn, he sent some documents to some other people who were not a part of the case, and they actually mentioned that inside. TD Jakes' attorneys mentioned that inside of their filing for sanctions against Tyrone Blackburn. Here's the key, ladies and gentlemen: if they remove him from under privilege, and now Tyrone Blackburn is no longer has an attorney-client privilege between him and Duane Youngblood, guess what's going to happen? It's going to open the floodgates. They can now file for all of everybody's text messages, everybody's cash apps. They can go in and dig deep and find out who's who and what is what. And that's why he was over there spazzing out for 3 hours, because he knows it.
Right. And something that happened yesterday is that Saint James had let him know in the filings, like, basically Duane Youngblood's new lawyer is saying, like, Larry was the one who put that whole grooming thing out there, throwing him under the bus, saying, like, he basically led that conversation into the way he molded it into the way that it was shaped. And I guess Larry didn't know anything about that, and St. James dropped that bomb.
Larry lying. If y'all believe that Larry don't know that he's been named co-conspirator number 1 in the case, and that's a good acting job Larry does. Oh, I don't know. Oh, you mean to tell me your name get added to a court case and you don't know nothing about it? And you not paying attention to it? You just going on? Who in their right mind as an adult would do that? Nobody. Larry clearly knows he's been, his name has been added to that situation. So Larry is full of crap. Don't you guys fall for that acting job? That was all for him to put out in the public so that they can try to prove to these lawyers, because the lawyers are watching all of these videos. I didn't know anything about that. But here's the thing. Duane Youngblood's new attorney, the white man said, we can neither confirm nor deny the existence that a letter ever existed. They put in the document like they didn't even know that a $6 million request letter has ever been sent. I said, what? The whole reason why we're here is because of this letter.
Right. And I didn't hear it in the second, but the first interview with just Larry and CTV, like, I did hear him say, like, oh yeah, well, I was only sent the top of the letter. I wasn't sent the whole thing. And so now he's trying to backtrack like how much he was actually, like, it doesn't matter if he was just sent the top part or the bottom. Like, you were sent this letter, like,
and that's but that's an attorney-client situation. That doesn't belong to an outside source. An outside source is not even supposed to be seeing that letter. Okay. And then there is a discrepancy as far as when Larry says that he saw the letter. Larry keeps changing his story about when he saw it. And the whole reason why he did that is because I came out and I told you all he's lying about that, because Larry, the way Larry worded it as if he was sent the letter first. He was the first one to see it before it ever even made it to TD Jakes' camp. TD Jakes and them had never even seen the letter before Larry saw the letter.
Yeah, he knows a lot more than what he's saying. Let me read Stephanie. Shout out to Stephanie. Thank you for the super chat. Stephanie, I don't know if you know, but on Friday, no, not Friday, Thursday, Jennifer Huff and the Petties, they have a court case. Like, Nikki can show up via webcam, but I think Kenneth Petty has to be there. Yeah, look into that for me, Stephanie. Like, see if you can pull that. But thank you. But another thing that I found interesting was that Saint James had asked him, like, you know, was this all in revenge for Carlton Pearson? Because it seemed like he was out for revenge because of that situation. And Larry, in his own way, admitted, like, he was like, well, maybe I did do this because of what happened with Pearson. And, you know,
Has he ever told y'all what happened with Pearson and Bishop Jakes?
No.
Because ain't shit happened. Let me be very clear with you all. Let me tell you something. Because see, this is the danger of Larry that Larry don't understand. I am friends with a lot of people in Carlton Pearson's orbit and camp. Y'all listen to me very carefully. AT2 exclusive. I haven't even said this on my own.
Exclusive.
Listen to me. If it was not for Carlton Pearson, there would be no TD Jakes as far as the world knowing him. It was Carlton Pearson that platformed TD Jakes. Not only did Carlton Pearson bring TD Jakes back and forth to the Azusa conference, he did that a multiplicity of times. And even throughout the whole time let me explain to you what happened. When Carlton Pearson got his revelation about the inclusion doctrine, Charisma magazine came out with an article and they wanted to, at one point, Carlton had told Charisma, you know, well, everybody's fine with what I said. I haven't gotten any pushback. So, you know, Charisma being the people that they were, they started going to preachers that Carlton knew. TD Jakes was one of those preachers. So what did TD Jakes say when they asked him about Carlton's new doctrine? He said it was heresy. He said he didn't support the doctrine. He didn't believe in the doctrine or whatever. So in essence, it looks as if TD Jakes, quote unquote, threw Carlton under the bus. But the entire Kojic denomination, a lot of other reformations had said the same thing. But even after that article came out, Bishop TD Jakes and Carlton Pearson still had a relationship. Now, and I don't know what Larry is talking about, because even before Carlton Pearson died, Carlton Pearson had gone to the Potter's house and sat in a service with Bishop TD Jakes. He couldn't stay for the whole service. He had to go because he had some other obligations. So even up until the time right before he died, he was still going to visit Bishop TD Jakes. So I would love to know what Larry is talking about. And see, this is the thing that I tell you all about Larry. Larry throws things out there. He never gives you any specifics. It's all generalities. It's all ambiguous. It's never anything concrete or succinct. And then he's got you all thinking that Carlton Pearson and TD Jakes had a beef. That is not true. That is not true.
Wow. This whole time I was thinking like it was some kind of beef or something, like, but that wasn't true.
That's his beef. That is his beef. And not only is it his beef, it's also Bernard Jordan's beef. That is a beef between Bernard Jordan and TD Jakes and Larry Reid, not TD Jakes and Carlton Pearson.
Yeah, and I just felt like, so with Saint James' interview with Bishop Bernard Jordan, when he asked him about TD Jakes, I just found like the way he was all like, oh, well, I didn't really know. Like, it was almost like, okay, that whole thing with Larry got involved with Manasseh and then the Jordan thing with Manasseh Jordan and TD Jakes, like, I just feel like as a father, he should have had more of a reaction. That situation with Jakes and Manasseh, I still don't know what that is. And it just doesn't sit right with me, because if you're going to accuse somebody of grooming you, like,
you would be more specific.
Yeah. And then how do you just pretend like it didn't happen? But you've been hearing Larry saying, he said it yesterday, like, because he was asked about that from Saint James, like, he basically said, like, if you get a subpoena or you get in the lawsuit, you're going to tell everything and basically let it be known what really happened and what went down.
Well, and that should cause everybody that is listening in your listening audience antennas to go up, and everybody should start critically thinking. If Larry has additional facts that can contribute to this case, that should show everybody that there may have been a possibility for a conspiratorial element to this entire case. That screams conspiracy, ladies and gentlemen. Because if you have the ability to throw everybody under the bus, then that means you are privy to information that you are not yet coming out and giving the court, and the court is unaware of. Therefore, the court should bring your behind in, and you should have to give an answer to all of these conspiracy theories that you claim that you have. That's why I told y'all yesterday, Larry talks like Donald Trump. He talks like Donald Trump. He throws things at you all to deflect and deter you, so you'll start looking over here. Oh no, I'm gonna give you these MLK files so you don't focus in on Epstein. Oh yeah,
Right.
the next day I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna tell you, oh, I'm gonna arrest Obama, so you won't focus on these Epstein files. So every day it's something different, so you don't be paying attention. And I am over here screaming at all of y'all like, hey, you don't have to like me. You don't have to think I'm the smartest fella in the whole box here, but what I've been saying to y'all consistently for years keeps coming to pass. You all have to pay attention to what I'm saying. Yes, he's talking too much.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I think now Larry is trying to backtrack, but he has said too much, because it was also called out that when he was talking about the Manasseh situation, he was already teasing something about Duane Youngblood, about him, he needs to talk with him or something like that. So I was like, damn, he was teasing it back in 2024. Like,
oh,
wow.
Absolutely. I'm gonna give you a specific. On November the 27th of 2024, in a video he uploaded at 12:57 in the afternoon entitled Larry Reid Live Update, spoke with team members of Bishop T.D. Jakes and Duane Youngblood. That was way back in November of 2024. I just told you the name of the video, the date of the video, the time he uploaded the video. So listen, when I tell you I have done my homework and I cannot wait to get over the information to the parties that I need to get over to, because I'm telling you right now, this dude is full of crap. He's full of crap. These people went out here saying all of this stuff. Listen, I don't even like Bishop T.D. Jakes like that. Everybody know I don't be down with these pimp preachers. Everybody know that. But a lie is a lie. If you come out here and you tell a lie on a man, and you cannot back up the stuff that you done said, dude, come on, bro. You just lied on this man. The whole world lied on this dude. Y'all had this man in a pink thong with a peach cobbler. Y'all done lied. You done put him into the P. Diddy mess. We ought to have something in us as human beings, as grown-ups, to say, hey, yo, I ain't down with this. Now, you know what I'm saying? Because you crucified an innocent person. Because we have not seen anything as of yet that makes this man guilty of anything, period.
Right.
And that's coming from me.
And remember, he was teasing that, oh, yeah, Manasseh going to, get him, and a lawsuit is coming. Wait until February. February came, it didn't happen. Wait until March. March didn't happen. Wait until April. April, it didn't happen. And then finally he was like, well, don't ask me about it. Ask Manasseh. And it's like, you was the one talking about it,
exactly. Sir. And then here's the other lie he told the other day. He says, oh, well, I made a promise to Manasseh that I would never put his name and T.D. Jakes' name in the same sentence ever again. So therefore, I'm not going to say anything else. Listen here, Ninja, you've been talking for 2-3 years. What you mean you ain't gonna put his name in your mouth again? This is that foolishness I'm trying to say. We all grown, we all pay bills, we all got mortgages, we all got stuff to do. Listening to this idiot ramble on and tell you all of this foolishness is it's a bunch of malarkey. It's malarkey.
Right. And Stephanie said, shout out to Marcellus, Daryl Moore, the A team and AT2 on tonight. They were giving us this info for years and withstood a lot of opposition. Yes, thank you, Stephanie. I appreciate that. Yeah, a lot of opposition, because it's all like, sometimes when you say stuff about Larry, he has his people and they were like, no, that's not true. He didn't say this. He didn't say that. And then it's all like, no, he did. Like, this is on tape. Like, this isn't like people, because Larry makes it seem like people just make up things and like they pull it out of thin air. But it's all like, no, this is what you said. But you talk so much that you don't even realize what you're saying.
but we're grown men. I don't kiss no man's ass. I'm sorry. We're grown men. And at the end of the day, I hate to say it like this, and I keep trying to tell y'all, and people think I'm just being mean. Man, fuck that nigga. I don't owe Larry Reid shit. You understand what I'm saying? That nigga has come out here and caused all of this drama for years, and caused all these people all of this drama for years, telling all of these lies, and then he think we're beholden to him some kind of way. Ninja, please.
And that it also, the argument was like, oh, you don't call out the other side. Like, that's what he's telling Saint James. You don't call out the other side when they don't do something. How come you didn't ask Bishop this and that? And that? It's all like, well, that's not really his job to call him out on things. He just gave him a platform to speak because, again, Larry had already spoken publicly. And thank you, Lady Grace. I appreciate that. Thank you. And go ahead, Marcellus. What's your response to that about not giving both sides or whatever?
Well, first of all, that was his first sit-down interview with Bishop Jordan. That was the first time they've ever been on camera together. That they're developing a relationship. Like I said, at some point, I'm sure at some point St. James will be able to sort of, give him a little bit more pushback at some time as their relationship develops. You don't go hitting a person hard when you just met them and you just sat down, right? So that's not wisdom. That's just dumb. But that other content creator has been sitting down with Larry for years and years and years, and he won't give Larry no pushback. He's over there in wigs and shades. He can't he can't push back on Larry at all.
I do feel like he pushes back on Larry, but is it going to go to a point that we want it to? No, it's never going to be like, no, well, you said this and da 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 da. It's going to be put in a way where he goes light on Larry.
Larry said to him on his own live, on his own platform, "Oh, I thought you were smarter than that." I said,
wait, he said that?
He said that to the vlogger on his own platform. "Oh, I thought you were smarter than that." How do you think a person who receives information from somebody, how much pushback do you think the person is gonna give you? And then at the end of the live, you tell the person, "Make sure you send me my Cash App," and then you drop them off and tell them. And then a week prior, he had just put out a statement on his own community wall saying that I was paid to stay. That's what he told everybody. He said that he was paid to stay. I have it. I literally have it. I've screenshotted it. I have it. He said that out of his own typing fingers. I'm just saying.
Wow. This is crazy, y'all. And I have another question because, like, sure, you get so much flack for being like a Larry hater and stuff like that. Do you are you a Larry hater? Like, what do you say about that whole title of being a hater?
Let me be clear. As a Christian, first of all, I am a Christian. Okay, I'm just a Christian who has moved on past the bullshit. Okay, let's just be clear.
Right.
All right. So it is impossible for me to hate Larry. I cannot go see the king hating Larry and having hatred for Larry in my heart. I don't hate Larry. I dislike a lot of the lies that Larry does. And I dislike the fact that Larry is always gaslighting us and disrespecting us as adults. What many of you may not know is when Larry first started his platform, Larry and I communicated all the time, right?
Oh.
Because I knew where yes, that is correct. I knew where he was getting a lot of his stories that he was telling you all. And I used to argue with Larry, saying, "Hey, Larry, you need to respect the people that came before you." Because I knew where he was getting his stories from. It was from a woman on Facebook who posts a lot of stuff. Shout out to Ann Brock. You know who you are, Ann. But anyway, Larry was stealing all his story. A lot of church vloggers get their stories from Ann Brock. I'm just telling y'all. Okay, just so you know.
Wow.
But he was taking them. And then one day he got upset with me and went and tried to go off on me because he was like, "I don't owe them, the N word, nothing." I say, "Larry, you do owe these people who came before you some level of respect for the work that they put in for the years before you got here. You just got here in 2015. We've been doing this work for 7-8 years before you got here." And most of you may not know, I used to be working on a website called pimppreacher.com. That was our website. There was only 2 websites in the church space that was very popular: pimppreacher.com and William McRae's blog. William McRae's blog was the second blog that everybody that was in the church space knew anything about.
Yeah, and I thought he stole William McRae's like swag or persona, because William McRae, I didn't know he stole it from wow.
Well, a lot of the stories you see, they were getting from Ann Blog. Still to this day, most of the church bloggers, they go look at her stuff and they'll get a story and come on their platforms and report on the story. That's where they get the stories from. Hint, hint, for those of you that are looking to find out more of where those stories come from. I just helped you out, right? So when you understand, how the space actually works. And back in the day, we used to have respect for each other. Only when this dude showed up did it become, oh, I'm the number one this and I'm the number one that, and you got to bow down to me and all of this kind of stuff. And I was like, look, dude, we're not those kind of people. Like we don't do that. And so, yeah, but it was a whole big old mess. But I need for you all to understand, I don't hate Larry. I'm very disappointed in Larry, because every single thing that Larry came out here in 2015 telling us, first of all, was a lie, was a complete lie. Okay, that's number one. Number two, Larry came out here in 2015 and he said God told him, this is what Larry said. Now I'm just telling y'all what the man said. Larry said God told him to come out of the church, and that he was no longer supposed to participate in deal with the institutional church on that level, that he was supposed to speak truth to power. And that's what he started doing in 2015. Well, then when Larry saw that he could make a little bit of change doing this vlogging stuff, and he ran into Bernard Jordan, he begged Bernard Jordan to be his mentor for over a year. This whole lie about, he asked me to be his mentee. Lie. You're lying. Everybody that used to watch you used to beg this man to mentor you, fool.
Whoa.
We saw you. We heard you. That's why I'd be like, Larry, it's on tape. It's on video. It's on audio.
Wow.
You just lying. Yeah, he begged Bernard Jordan, bro. He wanted that money, but he had to learn Bernard's system. Bernard taught him the ropes. Soon as Bernard taught him the ropes, he dropped Bernard. That's what he did, because now he knows the system. He knows how Bernard raises his money and works the system. So Larry, now all he's done is copy that from Bernard, and now that's how he's able to keep himself afloat, in my opinion.
Right. That actually makes a lot of sense, because it's all like, you don't need him now. Like, you know the system, you know how to game the system, essentially. So why even? I don't need you. I can do this on my own and probably do it better than you.
Right. And that's pretty much what he did, because in order for you to work with Bernard Jordan, especially if you're going to be mentored by him, one of the ladies who was being mentored by him and in his prophetic circle has a YouTube channel now, and she speaks out and talks a lot about what, how that whole system works and how things go down. In order for you to be mentored by Bernard Jordan, it's like 50. He only takes, like, I think she told us 12, either 12 or 50. I might be getting my numbers wrong, y'all, because I can't remember right now. I'll ask her again in a couple of days. It's either you got to pay him 50 grand, and he only takes a certain amount of people per year. You got to give up $50,000 every January. He takes a certain amount of people. He takes those people and then he mentors them. And when I did the math, it ended up being like $650,000 that he makes at the beginning of every year. Like in the beginning of January, those 50 people, y'all do the math, because I know that it ended up being $650,000 at the beginning of January. And he don't take any more mentees outside of the month of January. But you got to give him that 50 grand right up front. That money's got to be paid. I'm just saying.
Wow. Does he take a payment plan? I'm just kidding. But
right.
Wow, he is making. Let me tell you, that the relationship between him and Larry always seemed like it was money. It never seemed like it was actually genuine. Because, like I said, how are you somebody's spiritual father, but they still getting into a whole bunch of shit? Like, what's going on there? You know what I mean? So it never seemed like it was genuine. It always seemed like it was about money or, praising each other and all this other stuff. It just seemed weird,
Yeah. It's all transactional, brother.
Yes.
It's all
transactional. What I was looking for.
Yeah, it's all transactional. And I'll hey, and if you want to do that, that's fine. I respect it. Listen, do you, but don't come out here trying to tell me I didn't see what I saw. Don't tell me I didn't hear what I heard, and don't try to play a game in my face like I don't know how to think and process things for myself. That's all I'm saying.
Right. And Larry is under the impression that he is not going to be put in any lawsuit. He feels like Jake's he knows things, and he feels that, he didn't do anything wrong himself. Do you see Larry Reid being added in this lawsuit?
Ladies and gentlemen, and I'll keep reiterating this over and over. In TD Jakes' attorney's filing, they have Larry Reid's name listed as co-conspirator number 1. Because they have not officially put his name on the front of that document, does not mean that Larry will not be held accountable for the things that he said. They've already given you an indication of where they are going. If somebody puts your name down in a legal document and calls you co-conspirator number 1, you better take it serious, and you better understand that something is coming in your direction.
I have to agree, because even though you might not be a defendant, you're listed as co-conspirator and your name is up and down within that lawsuit. And now this new the white lawyer seemed like he don't care. He don't have any loyalty to Larry Reid at all.
He's trying to save his law firm because he allowed Tyrone Blackburn to use his law firm, Pro Hoc Vice or Vice, however you say that, Stephanie. You got to help me out. I know you're in the chat. He allowed Tyrone Blackburn to use his law firm. That white guy came out here. Now he's going to put out a whole new document. You know what he said through this whole document? I can neither confirm nor deny. He said that throughout the whole document. In other words, what that lawyer is now seeing and coming to grips with is we don't know nothing. We ain't seen nothing. We ain't got no evidence. So the only thing we can say at this point is we can neither confirm nor deny. So they ain't confirming it and they ain't denying it. You know why? Because they don't have any evidence, ladies and gentlemen. They got nothing. They got a donut.
Right. And I was just saying, please do your research whenever like a lawyer reaches out to you, because I'm all like, did he, like, talking about Duane Youngblood, he did not do his research into Tyrone, who he was. Like, why would you, man, don't get into bed with these people. Like, the fact that Tyrone reached out to Duane.
I don't believe that story either. I don't believe that story either.
Oh,
I don't believe that story.
Yeah, go ahead and give us your opinion, okay?
I don't believe that story either. Well, apparently, because Larry's been running off at his mouth, Larry said that he had been talking with Duane Youngblood. I believe he said since 2023 or sometime before he got out of jail. He was already talking to the man before the man got out of jail. So my thing is, what are you talking with Duane Youngblood with and about? And as that relates to that situation, and you trying to tell me that no one who knows you, Duane Youngblood, nobody knows you have a Twitter account, nobody even knows you got a YouTube page, that some lawyer who is steeped in legal cases with P. Diddy was looking and ran across a random tweet from you and reached out to you, a no-name preacher that no one knows, a tier 3 SA offender, and he found you. And you want us to be convinced of that. Okay, whatever, y'all. Y'all can believe that if you want to.
Yeah. And what do you think about possibly them subpoenaing those jailhouse calls between Larry and Duane? What do you think about that?
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And I would not even venture to say it not. When you get ready to go to court, for those of you that might have gone to court before, they send you a letter that tells you have to preserve all evidence, right? So they will send you an indication of the things they'll send you a letter saying you got to preserve everything. I'm quite sure that information has been submitted to the parties that are necessary so that they can preserve the evidence that will be looked into. But y'all need to keep in mind, TD Jakes has cyber experts on his legal team. Y'all keep that in mind. These people go digging. They found things about Duane Youngblood that I didn't even know it still existed and was out there on the internet. They found a blog of his brother. They found all kinds of stuff. I was like, I didn't even know this stuff existed.
Right. And I know they look at these videos too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Stephanie says, I do believe it, and I can tell you why. Stephanie, I would love to hear your thoughts on that. That's for sure. I really do. I would love to hear your thoughts on that, Stephanie, because I don't believe that Tyrone Blackburn just randomly found this no-name preacher who just got out of jail. Ain't been out of jail for 30 days, and he found you.
He just got out in August of last year.
Yeah.
Oh, what, August? And then when did he do the interview? September?
He was on Larry's platform within 30 days. I don't even think he had been out of jail a whole 30 days.
And supposedly he was changed. He just got out of jail. How did he change?
I don't know.
Larry knew that he wanted to screw over TD Jakes and have another person to say something negative about him. And he knew what he was doing.
But these two sick dudes is sitting up there laughing and giggling. At one point, they started giggling when they was talking, kind of sex talk, and Larry looks into the camera and says, "Oh, I can do a whole lot in 10 minutes." And then this tier 3S offender starts giggling. He. They're both giggling. I'm like, these dudes are sick.
Yeah, I did not like that at all. I did not. Oh, here's Stephanie. What's up, Stephanie? Stephanie, yo, Mike. You're on mute.
What it do? What it do, y'all?
Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go.
What it do, cousins?
Hey, how's it going?
All right. Hey, Marcellus, it's good to see you, man.
It's good to hear you, Stephanie. Miss you.
I miss you too. You know how it is. We fighting we're slitting each other's throats over the Hotep sector. So, we're busy over there. But I got to take a break. So I'll be coming back to see you. Did you notice my super chat was $8.87?
No, I didn't.
$8.87, $8.87. Because it can't be $8.88. It's gotta be $8.87.
Oh, right. I just see that now. Okay.
Oh wow.
But the reason I think Tyrone, there might be more to the story than just Tyrone reached out to him because of a tweet or something. But I do know Tyrone spends a lot of time on social media. He spends a lot of time on social media. He spends a lot of time up in these stories, looking through all the social media having to do with, sex assault stories, celebrity sex scandal stories, all this. And I actually, I saved it. It's delisted now, but there's a video that was on Instagram Live of him and Sabrina Peterson before they even started litigating, before they even brought the accusations against T.I. He's on live with her talking about how much she's taught him about survivors and how, he's in this to bring justice to people who survived and that kind of thing. So, he's very, he is very devoted to these kind of things from this sort of issue, right? From what he would say is, to get justice for survivors, victims, however you want to say it. But I think, and I would like to believe that he got into this and started doing this from the right place, that his heart was in the right place and he just lost his way. Maybe he ran into Sabrina and that it ruined it. I don't know. But
are you talking about Tyrone?
Yes, I'm talking about Tyrone.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
well,
I want to believe that he got into fighting all these suits, but he's just gone to the point where if he thinks this is the means to an end where he's got to make up a bunch of stuff because these people really are guilty, but the only way to really make them pay is to beef up the allegations.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the police does.
Stephanie, he's not even beefing up the allegations. And the only reason why I would push back on what you said, Tyrone Blackburn told the judge in his sanctions information and his sanctions response, and he just went to court the other day about the sanctions. He told the judge he don't have enough hours in the day to do all his work, so he couldn't possibly be online trolling and looking for clients on the internet if he's telling the judge that he don't have enough time in the day in order for him to do all of his work. And then obviously he must have a whole lot of time because he's using nothing but AI to respond to legal briefs. Like, this is incredible what this man has done. But I stand corrected. I want to correct the record. I Am Human First says something in the chat here. He says he got released in August, but his interview with Larry was in October. And again, he got out in August, the latter part of August. He went through the whole month of September. There's normally 30 or 31 days in a month. And then in the month of October, he was on Larry Reid's platform. So he might have been
45 days.
I'm just saying. Saying.
And like I said, like there might be more to it than just Tyrone seeing a little tweet or something, but I do know that Tyrone is out here like a shark. He's looking through the waters. He's looking to see what's going on out there. He's looking for the next big celebrity trend. And at the time, Duane Youngblood came out and all these Tyrone started helping him make all these accusations, right? Whatever Tyrone's role with that was. The celebrity, celebrity preachers and, sex scandals involving celebrity preachers was sort of hitting its peak. That was sort of the hot topic then, right? It was Tyler Perry. And at the time the first accusations against Tyler Perry came out, we were all thinking it was TD Jakes because of how like hot celebrity preacher scandals were at the time. So I think what Tyrone does is he kind of lurks around looking to see who the big scandal is at the time, or the big topic scandal, big kind of, when it was T.I. and Tiny, it was rap stars, that was the big boogeyman, and then it was the preachers. And so he's kind of hopping from topic to topic and finding like the cases that he can kind of get a wedge in and bring those so that he could just up his profile. I don't even know how much money he makes. All his lawsuits fail, so I don't even know how he's making money. But he's just up in his profile and his prestige. I think is what he's trying to do.
Right, because nobody knows if he's ever won a case. The only case that I know that he has won was against the law firm for like some kind of racial discrimination. But then I heard like that's how he was able to start his law firm.
Wasn't that one of his financial firms he was working for? That was like one of those financial firms.
Yeah, he was the plaintiff.
Yeah,
that might be where his money's coming from, because he won that suit on his own behalf.
Mm-hmm.
And so he might be sitting on a settlement, and that's how he's making all this.
Yeah. Well, good luck to him. All I can say is in not too many days hence, the judge is going to hit him with a ton of sanctions. And so this is going to be interesting. Steph, I don't even know how all that works. And I guess he can be hit with sanctions, but not disbarred. But the stuff that he's been doing in this case has been so egregious, Steph. I don't understand how he has not been brought up in some type of peer review board or something to that effect, because this stuff he's been pulling, I mean, this is amazing. I can't believe he's gotten away with it for so long.
It's beyond me how I can't believe that the courts would have let him do it. The bar associations that that permitted him are letting him do it. And then the media is letting him get away with it when he brings all these saucy allegations, all this, these souped up allegations that are on its face, like so ludicrous, right? It's like, how could these things even be happening?
Right.
And we just eat it up. And then when nothing happens and it turns out like, oh, I guess we were wrong because no one ever, no one was ever avenged. There's no consequences ever came about that he was promising. None of these results ever happened, right? We just kind of sail on by it. Like, well, that was yesterday's news. We're on to the next. And Tyrone is banking on us being on to the next, because that's how he keeps doing. He keeps doing this because we're on to the next, right? And we just forget. It's in our rearview mirror. We're not looking anymore.
Larry's the same way. He wants us to be on to the next. He just wants to say, put out this video today, and y'all get on to some other story and leave me alone. That's exactly how.
All about distractions.
Yeah. Oh, they never got arrested. On to the next. Oh, they never got arrested. On to the next.
I got a question for you, Steph. I got a question. Now, he just ran over a 66-year-old process server.
I know.
He backed his car into this process server. As an officer of the court, you are not supposed to be running away, Stephanie, from the process servers, because you're a part of the process as far as the court system in its process. So Can he not be, can they not turn that into a criminal charge? You hit a man with your automobile.
He did get charged criminally, didn't he? With in Texas, it'd be assault with the deadly weapon because you hit him with a car. But he did get charged in New York for something, right? Along those lines.
I thought so. That he ended up going to jail. I don't know
Yeah,
how
he
long
went
he
to
stayed
jail.
in jail, but
we'll have to see how that turns out. That usually takes 6 months to a year before
wow.
anything ever
Wow.
really ends up before the case is resolved. But yeah, I mean, I think so. The sanctions and disbarment are two different things. It's actually really hard to get disbarred. Most people on the internet think that, if I say something mean to them, they're going to jerk my law license. Not going to happen, right? Like, it's very hard to get disbarred. You actually usually have to commit some kind of serious felony. So if it's some sort of money type felony, like fraud,
Right.
financial, speculation, any, having to do with like securities or, any client's money, shit like that, that'll
Right.
get you disbarred pretty quick.
Gotcha.
Anything else, like even sort of fraudulent lawyering, usually they do things to try to make you, get in line first, right? Like they'll strike you, they'll probate your strike, right? And so you can keep practicing. And then they might ramp up the consequences if you don't get it right. It's actually like disbarment is usually the last.
The judge
sort of
is
option.
giving, the judge AT2 is giving this guy so much leeway, and they've been giving him so much room to correct his behavior. I just feel like in this case in Pennsylvania, he's in trouble, Steph. Like this judge has clearly told you, if you read the documents, this judge is not about to have this. So he's gonna get hit with sanctions, but it's just gonna be the amount and how much the situation is gonna go. But
well, and the sanctions is a different kind of thing because your bar card is administered by the bar association, right? If it's the federal or the state. But sanctions is actually in court where you fucked up in this case. So we're gonna hit you with sanctions for doing things that for sure you should not have been doing. It's not just a mistake, it's a willful disregard of your duties to the court, your duties to opposing counsel, your duties to your client. And yeah, you could get hit with sanctions over and over and over and over and over again for that. And it sounds like this judge is going to let them sanctions stand, which that could run up into thousands of dollars.
Listen, everybody who follow or knows anything about me, y'all know I do not support pimp preachers. I am going to go after these ninjas with everything I got.
Absolutely.
So you understand that. I'm not saying that Tyrone Blackburn does not have a place, but what I'm saying is if Tyrone Blackburn wants to have a place, he needs to do it with the utmost integrity and stop all of these shenanigans, because these shenanigans are what's making him look stupid out here amongst the public, period.
Right. And he's seen as a joke.
He is. I mean, it's gotten so bad. I mean, when white folks are talking about Tyrone Blackburn and they know him as a household name, he's done fucked up.
Yeah. I think that TD Jakes and also Fat Joe, because that's who was trying to serve him. I think those two are going to be the ones to really take him to task.
I do that make Marcellus laugh.
Look, that is hilarious. All I'm gonna tell you right now, AT2, real talk. These people, all of these people involved in this whole scenario are in trouble. All of the affidavits that were signed for Duane Youngblood were done by criminals. Only one affidavit was not signed by a criminal, and that was his wife, because she's the only one that ain't been to jail yet. Okay.
Yeah, not yet.
I'm just saying. So when you look at the overarching issues with this case, I would have never taken this case. I would have never presented these people as far as an evidentiary value.
Some of them were in jail at the time when he quote unquote supposedly told them about this story, right?
One of them was his cellmate.
Oh,
that's right. It's not that your cellmate can't, if it's something that actually happens at the jail, your cellmate might be a good witness, right? If it's a fight that happened in the jail, if you got attacked in the jail, your cellie may be a good witness. For this kind of case, maybe not the best witness. Maybe not. Just saying.
Right.
They all going to jail. Oh my God. This case is going to be, I'm telling you, TD Jakes is going to be the one to set the precedence. Like, you can't put in these fake lawsuits and think that you're going to get somewhere with it. Like,
Absolutely.
he's going to shut all that down. It had to be somebody other than Diddy,
Right.
because
Right.
Diddy's going through what he's going through, and so I think like there's obviously a lot. Let's not pretend there's a lot going on with that. So when Jay-Z started fighting back, and now we got TD Jakes fighting back, like, these celebrities are not just taking what.
Well, Fat
people
Joe
put
said
out
he
there.
gonna take. Fat Joe said, "I'm gonna take Tyrone
Yes.
Blackburn to the hill." He said, "I refuse to let this dude come out and do this to me." So,
Right. And then finding out that all these lawyers are doing pro hoc vice or Vinny Vici, whatever you call it, and they're not
Right.
actually
Bitty bum bum.
yeah, they not actually have a license in these states. I'm all like, so Stephanie, is the pro hoc vice, is that common?
So
And why have you never pro hoc vice me?
do you want me to? You don't have no problems. What do you want?
Right.
What do you want? Well, I mean, you haven't in a while, but so pro hoc vice it's common to a certain extent, right? But what's more
Mhm.
common is you get local counsel, and the local counsel, like, you refer them to local counsel, basically say like, look, you take this case, send me a referral fee if your bar association allows it, because some states don't, right? But you kind of have to have like an arrangement to where like it's still confidential, because you sent them the case, you may know something about it, so they still have an attorney-client privilege with you. Like, you have to do a conflict check, all that stuff, as if you are representing them, but you're really not. And so you don't pro hoc vice into that jurisdiction. You just send your buddy who's in that jurisdiction the case, and like, if anything needs to be done in your state as far as like subpoenas or whatever,
Steph,
then you got it
Steph,
there.
I got questions for you, and I don't mean to get this deep, AT2, but now you done made me start thinking, Steph. Now wait a minute here, Steph. Could this have not been a part of the whole process, because Tyrone Blackburn knew that he wasn't going to be really defending Duane Youngblood, and he did all of this so that he could turn this over into these other people's hands, and he did that from the start? Because just based on what you're saying, Steph, there's just no way, based on how they've been moving in this case, that he had any intention of actually defending this,
because now he's trying to get out.
Right. Yeah, I mean, he's
and that could have been a part of the conspiracy, if you ask me.
Yeah.
That is dirty.
Because listen, like, if somebody came to me and said, I don't live in Texas, like this person comes to me and says, I don't live in Texas, and this person that did this shit to me allegedly doesn't live in Texas either. My first question is going to be, well, what the fuck do I got to do with it? What do you want me to do? None of this has any sort of anything to do with the jurisdiction I practice in. So what's going on here?
Well, Steph, here goes another question, because you know how my mind works, Steph. I'm sorry to cut you off. But Steph, could that be why the new attorney for Duane Youngblood is neither confirming nor denying anything? Because he's pretty much coming out here pretty much saying we don't have nothing. That's pretty much what he's saying in essence.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because he might be looking around going like, what did this man get me into? Why did I pay more attention to this? Why did I think that this was going to be so easy? Like, it does, the way they've been moving from the very beginning seems like they were just going to send the Potter's House a demand, and the Potter's House was just going to jump and write him a check. I mean, it really does seem like that's how it was going to go.
Well, and you know why that is, Steph, because with the atmosphere around TD Jakes, around that P. Diddy situation, they thought that the energy around TD Jakes would have got him to just acquiesce and give them a check, right? Because if you understand Christians and you understand ministers, most ministers will focus more or less on the church and on the people, and they will throw themselves, to the chopping block every time and just let you say whatever you want to say about them, because as long as they protect the people and the money, I'll just put it that way, they'll just throw themselves on the chopping block. So they expected TD Jakes to just lay down and say, okay, let's just get this over with, and then I'll go on with the ministry and then go on. And that just did not work.
Right. I mean, especially since like he was about to retire anyway. Sarah was already preaching. Like, they could have just just written the check and rode off into the sunset. But
thank you, Priestess Susan. I appreciate that. Thank you. Keep going, Stephanie.
But I think like No, now that you put it, now that I'm thinking the way you're thinking, Marcellus, this is very suspicious because
Mhm.
because Tyrone doesn't have an intersection with Pennsylvania nor
Right. You can't
Texas.
even practice in Pennsylvania. So why would you send a demand letter?
And he
Why
doesn't
wouldn't
have
he
a
just
license in Texas
refer it?
either.
But why wouldn't he just refer it out or try to go find somebody in that help
Mhm.
that man in his state with any of his connections and so forth? Maybe he doesn't have anything. Only connection Tyrone Blackburn has is to Chat GPT and Claude. I'm just here to
Yeah.
tell y'all.
Right.
But at
Maybe
this
he couldn't find another lawyer as dirty as him to do it.
well, that too. You know what I'm saying? It's just ridiculous. And now that you said that, Steph, you really gave me something to really think about. And I'm gonna be like really pondering because that's what I do. I'm sitting here thinking, you know what? That might have been a part of the whole conspiracy from jump. It really might have been a part of this whole deal from top to bottom.
Yeah,
Right.
because if you're looking to do some dirty stuff, and it has to do with a sex scandal, it has to do with, sex assault, it has to do with forcible sex of any kind, and it's a celebrity, and you want to do some dirty stuff to get some money real quick using the legal system, you call Tyrone. That's what you do.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
And this kind of plays into the whole conspiracy because this is where I was thinking on the lines of this. I Am Human First said, AT2, remember LR was supposed to be using some of the accusers to help Duane with his lawsuit, but then Larry left him hanging and provided no support.
Not one
Like,
accuser.
Right.
right. So did Larry like promise him like, hey, I know some people and blah, blah, blah,
He
blah,
was
blah.
lying.
Yeah.
He just been lying from the get-go. I just keep trying to tell y'all that he's been lying. And then let's say, for instance, Larry does have some additional accusers. It would not necessarily be pertinent to this particular case. That's going to be inadmissible because that has nothing to do with this case. So, and like I said, if TD Jakes has done anything, y'all, we'll talk about it and I'll cover that too. But as far as this case is concerned, this is some bull jive.
Right. And nobody's defending TD Jakes, but we're defending the truth. And the truth
Correct.
is, no one has any proof that TD Jakes has done X, Y, and Z. We don't know nothing about a pink thong and peach cobbler. We don't know nothing about him and Diddy and him being a power bottle. We don't know anything about that. And honestly, to tell you the truth, like I've been saying since the beginning, you can quote me back from 2023. I was all like, if TD Jakes get down with the get down, I promise you, his wife knows. It's not a secret.
Just like Larry's wife knew. Just like Larry's wife knew. I'm just saying. They know who these people are. And if you live in church culture, and if you're from the church culture where I spent all of my life, we know what goes on in church, and we know who is doing what and what's going on. We know what's going on. And these women who marry these men, knowing full darn well that they're lesbians and their husbands are, same gender loving, they know that. Let's not play the game. I'm too old at this point. Next month, I will turn 50 years old. I do not play these types of games, and I'm not going to get on the internet and pretend I'm a grown man. So when you deal with me, you have to talk to me like a grown man. I don't like this silly stuff that we be doing on the internet. It's dumb. It's stupid. Let's say what it is. It is what it is. They do it all the time. And listen, I'm okay with that. If you and your wife have an agreement and y'all agree to get together to have some kids just because in any other scenario you would never have none, and you say we're going to get together because I want a kid, you want a kid, and we're going to love these kids in a nurturing, loving environment, but I'm going to do my thing and you're going to do your thing, I'm fine with whatever you got going on. Just say what it is, but stop lying and pretending that we don't know what we know. How do you divorce your husband and a week later you talking about Beyonce's your new pastor, and then you turn around and go marry a whole lesbian? How do you do that a week later? See, y'all don't know like I know. I told y'all I've been following Larry for a long time. When he got a divorce from Lisa, that man cried on the live. He had to get up out of his chair, which y'all have never seen Larry do. Got up out of his chair and walked off the screen because he was crying because the woman told him on the live that they were gonna get a divorce. I'm just saying. Don't y'all. I'm too grown for this game, y'all. That's why I don't like YouTube. No, I swear I don't like YouTube. Every day I'll be like, I just want to go away. I swear I hate YouTube.
Today I'm quitting. Today is the day I'm quitting. That's right. That's right.
I swear I do. Every day I'll be like, why do I even come on here?
Is it over yet?
It's over.
I had to
It's
hide
over
my
82.
face. I was like, oh Lord, he going real life.
I'm just saying, the woman was a whole. I mean, come on, it is what it is.
I mean, I'm not going to say that you lying. I mean, I believe what you said. I was just all like, oh shit, it's getting too real.
But I mean, listen, and I'm gonna tell you something. Real talk. I'm okay with Larry being who Larry is. I'm okay with anybody being who they are.
Right.
I love everybody because I left the institutional church because you're not going to tell me who I can love and what support I can give anybody. I want to. The church needs to expand its borders. We need to stop with all of this foolishness. We done had same gender loving people before all of us came on earth. We're going to have them after we all die. It's all a part of the human experience. These people, we just need to do what Jesus taught us to do. And that's to love everybody. We're to treat everybody with loving kindness and with grace. That is our responsibility. So I'm not beating up on nobody. And you're not going to tell me that I'm supposed to send everybody to hell because they don't believe like you believe. I'm no longer participating in that foolishness because most of you don't have the education to have a higher level of conversation when it comes to theology issues anyway. So I'm not going back and forth with no ninja about none of this stuff. Bye. I didn't go to school to be listening to you tell me that King James was Jesus' little brother. I ain't got time for that.
Oh my.
I got time.
Stephanie, your comments on TD Jakes possibly dibbling dabbling.
Well, okay, so to kind of pivot off what Marcella said, right? Like I'm no fan of TD Jakes either. I think he's got some heretical beliefs. Because unlike Marcellus, I haven't moved all the way past the institutional church. So I think that TD Jakes has some heretical beliefs. I don't think he understands the Trinity. I think he is a modalist, and I think he's got that part messed up. And I think that, he needs to get right on that. So I'm not defending TD Jakes from a theological point of view. I also think that, they got a whole printing press at Potter's house. I mean, they're making money like they're printing it in the back room. And I got a problem. If you are a preacher and you're living better than 3/4 of your congregation or 99% of your congregation, something's wrong. You should not be living leaps and bounds. When you got people in your congregation who cannot pay rent, you should not be asking them to sow a seed for your Bugatti, right? No, it's not going to happen. That's not godly. And you're gonna get you're asking for a rebuke at that point. If you're not gonna get it on earth, you're gonna get it on judgment day.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, as far as the same-sex loving and dibbling and dabbling, and I had to get past that when I was being told, in so many words, without being out at my church, but in so many words being told that was the last thing that I wanted to be, right? And being insinuated that I would have serious problems in my life if I was to be out when the writing was on the wall, right? And, when I have been told that, but we're having waves and waves, an epidemic in the Southern Baptist Convention of preachers telling me that I'm wrong and then bringing a girl from the youth group home to their wife and saying, you got a half daughter on the way, you got a stepdaughter on the way, you got a stepson on the way, because the girl from the youth group is pregnant. We got to figure this out.
Steph, you would not believe the study I've been doing on the Southern Baptist Convention and these hostile takeovers of these churches.
That too.
Yeah, most people don't realize that aspect, and I can't wait to do my stories on that coming up soon. They don't realize they're hostile takeovers of people coming in and taking over whole churches like corporate entities. And
Houston
they don't even know that this is happening. People don't even know.
Houston Second just got a dynasty put in. They put their son in instead of let the church pick the successor. Sure did.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff. Now, you just said something that made me think, but I wanted to piggyback on something that you said. But there are two things with TD Jakes that are always problematic for me. And I'm gonna give you the two things real quick. Number one, MSNBC did a story on him. I have the recording. TD Jakes said Jesus is the product. It came out of his mouth. When TD Jakes said that Jesus was the product, when he said that, I said, oh no, something's up with this dude. Second thing, when Eddie Long came out and was found out with all of his stuff, TD Jakes went on CNN. I'll never forget it as long as I live. And he said that there was really no issue, that we all needed to stop talking about this because those boys was of age. He went on CNN and said that.
I didn't see that.
It was on CNN, people. And ever since then, I lost all respect for TD Jakes. I was like, oh, this is a dude I can. Now, he's a great, speaker. He's had some messages that have really touched me at times. But when that man got on CNN and said that about Eddie Long, who happened to be one of his best friends, I'm just saying. I said, I can't fool with this dude. But I'm gonna tell the truth about Duane Youngblood in this case, because there ain't no proof.
That is crazy thinking about that. Real quick, shout out to Priest D'Souza. Martin Luther King Jr. biggest supporters and organizers was a gay man. The whole brain behind the whole operation. Martin Luther King Jr.'s biggest supporters. And that's what you meant by it was text to speak.
His name was Rustin somebody. What was Rustin?
Bernard Rustin.
Oh, Bernard Rustin.
Rustin.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I didn't know that he was gay. Okay.
Mm-hmm. They made a whole documentary, I believe, and a movie about it. I forget what platform it's on, but yeah.
But we've
been around forever. We've been around forever. We're just kind of, Christianity is the misinterpretations of Christianity and the misinterpretations of certain words in the Bible that don't mean what these people have told us it means has made us live in the shadows. But we've always been here. And we've been in the churches, we've been in the pulpits, we've been in the confessional booths, we've been on the priest side of the confessional booths, we've been in the convents, we're the saints on the candles, we've been in the baptistry, we've been everywhere. Everywhere.
Jesus took care of all of it. Jesus said, you have the commandments. He said, but I'm gonna leave 2 more with you. And he said, all of these last 2 I'm gonna leave with you is gonna trump every other one that you got. He said, you're supposed to love God with all your heart, mind, soul, and body. And the second one was you're supposed to love your neighbor as yourself. If you have not become an expert in those last 2 that Jesus said trumped all of those other ones, you are outside of the will of God, because you're not striving to do what Jesus said we're supposed to be doing. And my life, I want to end my life. God is my solemn witness. I want to end my life trying to love and treat people with kindness, decency, a tremendous amount of respect, so that when I close my eyes, people won't be saying, oh, Marcellus was just so mean and evil. No, I want people to say, stand up and speak well of me for my eulogy, because that's what it means. Speak well of. I want them to say, you know what, Marcellus was a dude who just loved everybody. He gave grace to everybody, and I even give Larry grace. Y'all don't hear about it because it's normally in people's private chats and not in the public one. But I do be saying nice things about Larry, but y'all don't get to hear it. I'm just saying.
Right. And like I said, I don't actually hate Larry or anything like that. It's just that the way that he moves and just the word salad and the spinning of the stories, it's all like, dude, just be real, just be you. And that's it. That's all I can ask for. Just be real and just be you. And if you said something, to say, you know what, I said something, but now I changed my opinion, or this is not what it is. Like, the whole lying and trying to cover it up and then trying to say that we're all stupid. That's what I have a problem with. Not everybody is stupid. Like, I don't even talk about him all the time for him to even consider me a hater or anything like that. I'm just reporting the news and what I see and what I hear.
I'll talk about Larry until I get good and tired. He don't determine who and what I get to talk about. And if I'm going to come out on this internet and talk about whatever I want, we're all public people. If you put your behind on this here YouTube, you are open game, unfortunately. That is the nature of our business. So my job as the creator is not to go over and listen at your foolishness. My job is to not let you emotionally affect me to the point to where I can't come out and be my authentic self. I don't care that you talk about me. Many people are going to talk about you. That is just a part of what we do here on the internet. But where you guys, in my opinion, cross the line is when you start messing with people's jobs, when you get to doxing folks, trying to find out where they live, and you showing up to people's houses and all of that kind of stuff. You have never on my platform ever seen me do that kind of stuff, because I think that crosses a line to me. And I think any content creator, if anybody get on the internet putting out your address and making all these threats, you don't argue with people. Just go to the police. And I say police because y'all know I'm from the country. Go to the police and you tell the police this what's happening. You make a record of it. So when they show up at your house and you blast their ass or you whoop their ass, then you don't have to worry about going to jail. Because if you show up over here, I'm gonna teach you about love, grace, and the hand of God.
That's
I
right.
love it.
You know, you can be Christian and you can love your neighbor and you can love God, but we need to remember that the God of the New Testament that we worship now, the God of the New Covenant, is the God of the Old Covenant as well. He has not changed. He's the same today, yesterday, and forever. So the same God that said in the Old Testament that he hates injustice, he hates lies, he hates oppression of the poor, is the same God that came down and died for our sins.
Now,
God is
Stephanie,
also Jesus Christ, and
I agree.
it's the way it is.
Stephanie, you can't have law and grace. You got to choose between one. You can't have both, Steph. Now that's a conversation over my platform. You make sure you bring yourself on over there. We'll have that argument. You can't do both, Steph. You gotta choose one. You can't have law and grace.
Well, but grace fulfills the law, though.
But see, that's what, fulfills. Listen to the word that you just said, fulfills. That means it completes it. It makes it whole. Everybody's always mixing law and grace. You can't have both. Either you take the grace that God has given you, but see, it's so overwhelming to us. We don't know what to do with this grace. We be like, oh, God loves me this much. I don't know what to do, but I got to keep trying to work hard so that I can earn, I can do. You can't have both, Steph.
No.
You gotta.
I think, but I don't know. Maybe I don't know if I was talking about the law, but I'm not saying that we don't have grace, but just that.
Right.
I think that what I'm saying is the same. Yahweh still hates the oppressor as much as he hated it back in the Old Testament. That's all I'm saying.
I agree. And I want to shout out Trey Andrews in the chat. And I want to mention something going back to Larry and that interview yesterday. You know, I was really displeased by seeing that other vlogger disrespect Levantre, one of Larry's, and we'll call alleged victims. We'll say alleged just for the sake of, let's be clear. How Levantre keeps being treated by supposedly Larry's mentee shows you guys a pattern of behavior that you guys should be taking notice of. When he's brought into the chat, or he comes into the chat to say, okay, well, let's talk about this, that, and the other, and what was done to me. You all notice that he's always ignored, or he's totally disrespected by the person who's hosting the show. He always ends up being disrespected. And then people wonder why Black men never come forward and talk about the victimization that they've experienced, because you cannot be, because you got to have everything then becomes in question when you're a Black man and something has happened to you. You understand? So, we really need to change the way we as a people and just as a society, how we address these types of issues, because I'm not down with that. I'm not down with that. Men have been victimized as well as women have been victimized, and they both
happens a lot.
Respected and treated with kindness, decency, and respect.
Oh,
absolutely. I think it's really sad to see people who, when they fall out with someone on Mad Day, it's well, I know what happened to you when you were a kid or whatever, and it becomes a weapon. And I see that happen way too often on YouTube and on the internet. When people are, they support you 1 second and they're understanding, and they voice they say all the right things. Men should be able to come out, everything, and then on Mad Day they use it against you, and it's really sick. It's really sick to see that people want to use that to bring into question everything about your manhood, and that's just it just doesn't make any sense. It's totally it's irrational and illogical.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have a lot of mad days. Hence, the channel is called Mad Church Disease. It's mad. We mad over there. I'm about to tell you about it, but I'm mad.
Right. Go ahead and shout out your channel, Marcella, so people can come over there.
Shout out to the Mad Church Disease members and family. It's just called Mad Church Disease, one word, on YouTube. I'm on all social media platforms as Mad Church Disease. It's real easy to find me. And just follow the Larry Reid breadcrumb trail, and you'll run directly into me. I guarantee you. It's inevitable. I promise you.
Right. And are you going live today?
Huh?
Are you going live today?
I am. I'll be live probably in about 45 minutes to an hour. I got to do part 2 of He's Been Caught, because whether y'all know it or not, there's been a lot of legal implications that Larry has legally implicated himself in by sitting around and talking. He's doing too much talking. If I was over there with Larry, I would tell Larry to stop talking. Stop talking.
And shout out to Gigi. Yes, he is friends with Daryl Moore.
Yeah.
And again, Marcellus, thank you so much for coming on the show. Like, I wasn't even trying to keep you this long because I'm all like, oh shoot, I don't want to keep them so long.
I enjoy your content, brother.
Listen,
I be in the bushes. I already know you got a new camera. I already know you're working on your setup. Listen, I be in the bushes, brother. But you're a good content creator and you put in the work, dude. Let me just put it out here like this. There's not a lot of people that I watch. A lot of times I'll be in the bushes and I may not fall down and I may not say anything because a lot of these people that sometimes y'all are talking about, I don't know. And I ain't trying to create no smoke. You know what I'm saying? Because these people love smoke on this here internet. So I just will listen. But AT2, you're doing a great work. People should most certainly support your platform and support you and keep you going in the work that you're doing. I love the new setup. And I was thinking the other day when I saw you, I said, man, that Chadwick Boseman thing that you got where, on the side of you, I was like, man, I said, that is really cool. And honestly, I'm thinking about maybe getting something like that and just hanging that in the house, only because Chadwick deserves our respect too, for what he went through and all of the stuff that he had to endure, even while being sick. I look at things even from that perspective. He wanted to be our superhero while he was going through something physically. And I'm gonna end it on this, because y'all know I'm a spiritual person. It's amazing to me how in life we show up for people and we're trying to be another person's superhero, all while we're going through something in our own lives and our own stuff, right? And so I want to end my thoughts by saying this. Sometimes while you're trying to be the superhero for somebody else, you've got to learn to take care of yourself first so that you can be the Wakanda that everybody needs to find rest and solace in. Don't keep depleting yourself, trying to fill up everybody else's cup while you're dying on the inside, whether it's physically, emotionally. Don't come out on the internet trying to help everybody and do everything for everybody while you're emotionally distraught. Shout out to everybody that are content creators who are putting in the work. Don't let these people drive you crazy. Protect your peace. AT2, at the end of the day, protect your peace. Don't let these people throw you off your rocker, and keep doing what you do. Now, if you got to come out and cuss a ninja out every now and then, I'm down and I'm okay with that, right?
Yeah.
But just protect your peace, because some of these fools will push you there sometime. But you. I respect you highly. I respect you greatly. I appreciate the work that you do. And that's all I got to say.
Yo, Marcellus, thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate you. And we got to collab more. This was fun.
Oh, hey, I learned a lot. And you got to make sure that you can round Stephanie up, because when you need some good legal stuff, Stephanie is the person. I like to talk to Steph. Like, that's why I'm so mad, Steph. I don't see Steph as much. I'm like, now, wait a minute, Steph.
Yeah, you need to support him more. What the hell wrong with you?
I'm going to be there tonight. I'm coming over tonight.
Yeah,
I'm taking a break from the hotel sector.
I appreciate y'all. I'm out. Talk to you later, man.
Yes, have a good one. Thank you, Marcellus. And Stephanie, last words?
Well, I'm mad that Marcellus dropped out, because I wanted to tell him, how is he going to talk about being mad and how he's the mad church disease and how it's okay to be mad and it's okay to curse people out sometimes, and then tell me that I have to choose between law and grace, because it's all I was trying to say was that God is the God of the Old Testament that got mad, is the God of the New Testament that also gets mad. And it's okay to be mad sometimes, because sometimes your anger is justified. And some of these people who are out here trying to hurt other people. And that's all I was trying to say, Marcellus. And so, I was just saying that it's okay. God gets angry. Jesus got angry. And it's okay to get angry sometimes too. You can love people and still be angry at them.
Right.
And righteous anger. Righteous anger is okay.
Right. Steph, thank you for coming up. I appreciate your input and your knowledge when it comes to a lot of this legal stuff. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, thanks for having me up. And it was good to be up here with Marcellus. I love that guy.
Yeah, we gotta do this again. Have a good one, cuz.
Yes. Okay, bye.
All right. And then also shout out to Addicted. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I would rather keep up with my foolishness, volunteer, and donate. Keep it real. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Addicted. And Miss Barbara, stop acting a goddamn fool. When we got guests in the house, can you please act like you got some goddamn sense? Sorry, we was just talking about the Lord. I shouldn't say goddamn. Sorry. But can you please act like you got some sense, Miss Barbara, and stop acting a fool? Thank you. And shout out to everybody else in the chat. And shout out to everybody who donated. If I got any cash ups or PayPal, I'll definitely thank you later. Please hit that like button and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I love y'all for being here. And this was a great conversation. And no matter what happens with TD Jakes and this whole Duane Youngblood situation, we gonna stay on top of it. So we updated on everything going on. And Larry, I'm gonna just hope for the best for you because you in for a bumpy ride. All right, I love y'all. We out of here. Deuces, everybody.